Hello everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. Welcome to your session on eliminating options in reading comprehension. We've done this session before, but at that time there were some issues with YT, so we thought why miss out? The YT students are precious to us. I hope you've been following us regularly. I hope you've joined our classes as well. But this is for us to really review the answer selection and elimination process. Quickly, as you know, RC is a big part of uh, the VARC section in CAT. You do well in it, and your chances of scoring a high percentile are pretty good. So, 16 out of 24 questions are RC. Out of that, you have plenty of passages on these three genres. We've done it plenty of times with you: sociology and anthropology, ecology, zoology, philosophy, and psychology. Hello, Sunny, Mradul, Juhi, Surbhi, Sagar. Hello. All right, so I hope you've been practicing reading passages from this genre and articles. And you need to, if you've done that, then you know that you are well prepared for whatever cat throws at you, right? Scores versus percentiles has been done to death with you. Just remember, you don't have to really, we tend to think of full marks as something you are used to that, but actually a score of 43 would get you a 99.5 percentile. Not hard to get, provided you work hard. All right, the first passage I have chosen is new, created by us. We will read each slide for 40 seconds as usual. 40 may be too much for some of you. You may finish reading in 30. Then, if the passage is still in front of you, try to uh, summarize what you have read. Even if you, that's the regular habit I would expect all of you to do, that read. And the moment you read, quickly try to remember, okay, this is this. Just one sentence recap of what you have just read. Let me keep my timer on and we shall start. Clock. Let's start the timer. I keep it ready, but then it goes off. All right, let's start with the first passage. All the best, 40 seconds. Juhi will talk about this at the end of passage 1. All right. Next slide. All right, that's it. Let's go back. All right, quickly, before we go to the questions, let me know, what is the topic of the passage? What would Juhi's question was, what should I do in the last few days? For verbal ability, actually wouldn't do anything. I would probably think of the strategy that you worked for you. I would think of what worked for you in the last couple of mocks. There is no great concepts to be covered in CAT, but if you really want to practice something, maybe a few summary questions. Otherwise, I won't really bother. All right. Okay, now What was the topic all about? What was the passage all about? Artificial intelligence, true, but what else did it say? If you know that, you can answer the question. All right. Which of the following statements can be inferred from the passage? A, B, C, or D? I'll give you a minute to answer the question. Okay, actually less than a minute. But one thing I want to know from you is why you chose a particular option, or why you eliminated a particular option. All right. Middle 24 means you have plenty of time. We have a lot of sessions which are going to tell you how you start preparing. Obviously, join one of our long term courses, that would be the best. But I think Vikrant is coming up with CAT 2024, the way ahead, what you should do. Think of that. Okay. Sometime 11 a.m. there is a session. See what. Yeah, what are the answers? I'm getting lots of A's. Lots of A's. What about the others? Three answers so far. What about the rest? The consequences of using AI tools by humans is not clear as of now. Generating a computer language that would closely mimic natural languages is not feasible. Why not B? Quickly. I want these answers from all of you. Why not B? Just give me the answer. Too broad, too narrow, out of scope, extreme word. What is the reason you eliminated B? Many of you are saying A, but I hope you read B, C, and D. Why did you eliminate B? AI tools are not data dependent. Contradicts the passage. You can write cont. AI should be accepted in full measure by humans. A, the generating a computer language is actually contradicts the passage because he has talked about NLP, right? Yeah. AI are not data dependent also contradicts the passage because he says it's totally data dependent. AI should be accepted in full measure. He has not said, because he said we don't know. So A was an easy choice. All right. Not all questions would be this easy, but yeah, it is setting the tone for us to know this is how I eliminate options. This was easy. All right. Let's look at the next question. All right. If you want me to take you back to the passage, let me know. Primary purpose, I will not take you back to the passage. Why has the author written the passage, or what has the author actually done with the passage? What's the objective of the author in writing this passage? Right? Analyzes the complexities behind creating AI tools, highlights the fact that AI is data dependent. It comes to a conclusion as to whether AI tools should be used or not after due analysis. It highlights the fact that AI is very controversial and has generated many arguments. It should not be much. TechBite and Sunny and Mradul all think it's D. Okay, now here your reasons for eliminating the options are a little different, right? Okay, first, why not A? Quickly, why not A? I haven't got answers from all. Harsh is still. Yes, please try to answer it. Okay, attend all the YT sessions so you get familiar with the CAT RC process. Yes, why not A? Complexities behind creating AI tools. He may have mentioned it, but that's not the main aim, right? So what's happening to my pen tablet? Ulta ho raha hai aaj. Huh. It highlights the fact that AI is data dependent, yes, but that's not the purpose. The purpose of the passage is not to try to prove that AI is data dependent, right? AI is data dependent, hence AI is only as good as the data you feed it, right? That's the point. So main thing is, should they be used or not? and he has given the pros and cons. Excellent. All right. Next. So before we go to the next one, remember primary purpose, the wrong options, or even primary purpose is what does the author do with the passage? Why has he written the passage? To analyze, to highlight, to come to a conclusion, to demonstrate, to refute. Main point is the story of the passage, the essence of the passage in one line. The wrong options generally are statements which are given in the passage, but they are not the main point, right? So sometimes if you are in a hurry, you may mistake that to be the main point. All right. What is the author's opinion about AI? The author feels that AI should be what? Used sparingly, used less, as it could pose a threat to the survival of mankind, not used as it will cause massive unemployment if it is used, not used in academic circles as it destroys academic integrity, or used in a most desirable and advantageous manner. What do you think is the author's opinion of how AI what should be done with AI? All right, quickly. Used sparingly, he didn't say that. Survival of mankind, threat. Some people are saying he didn't say it. Cause massive unemployment, concerns are there yet, right? Part of the chat GPT and all. But what he says is, look, depends on the data. So if you use it intelligently, it will be good for us. Excellent. Last question of the set. What is one weakness of AI? One weakness of AI. Is this cat level, ma'am? No, this is an easy passage which will lead up to a cat passage that I'm going to show you next. All right. What is the weakness of AI? A, it could cause massive job losses. B, it's just basically a search engine. C, it's totally data dependent. 4, it needs to convert software languages to human languages. Yeah, one is it is totally data dependent. Option C, excellent. All right. Now you're all warmed up, your brain is tuned in. We will look at a passage. If you notice, the passages on natural science, biology, have increased since 2018. I think 2018 started. I'm not very good at remembering my memory for. At one time, I could quote cat passages. I still can, but I get the years wrong. One on penguins, right? One on cuttlefish, one on elephant behavior. So there have been plenty of passages on animals, animal behavior, animal psychology, and we're hoping there would be one for each slot this year too. Now, let's look at one of the tougher biology passages that appeared in CAT 2018 slot 2. I'll give you again 40 seconds to read each of the passages. If you've done it before also, try to read the passage and understand how answer options are created. All right, let me go back to this. All right, 40 seconds, exactly 40. I'm going to change the slide. Whatever you read in the 40 seconds, that's it. Then I can take you back to the passage for a whenever you ask. Next slide, I actually showed it for 1 minute because I realized the slide was text heavy. So I'm going to show you for 1 minute. The slide has a lot of text in it. Next slide. Oh, there is no next slide. All right. So, how was it to read this passage? How was it to read? Moderate level difficulty, lot of facts, lot of arguments. So now you know how CAT increases the degree of difficulty by choosing a passage which looks straightforward but where you have to pay special attention to the kind of language used. All of the evidence supports the passage's explanation of sea travel or trade except. So first thing you do is it's an except question. So which one does not support sea travel trade is your correct answer, right? Now tell me which one. The coincidental existence of similar traits in the white-lipped grove snails of Ireland and Pyrenees because of convergent evolution. The oldest fossil evidence of white-lipped grove snails in Ireland dates back to roughly 9,000 years ago, the time when humans colonized Ireland. Absence of genetic variation within the white-lipped grove snails of Ireland and the Pyrenees, whose genes were sampled. It is tough. Archaeological evidence of early sea trade between ancient peoples of Spain and Ireland via the Atlantic. So, which one does not give an explanation of sea trade travel? Which one? All of them support sea trade and travel. One doesn't. What's your answer for that? Give me the question number, right? This is question 5. TechBite says A. Mridul thinks it's C. So let me get the answers, then I'll take you back to the passage and tell you the flow of the passage is what you need to remember. Even if you go back to the passage for this question, it will help you answer other questions correctly. So it's not a waste of time, right? Juhi also thinks it's C. All right. Quickly key in your answer. Let's just look at the flow of passages because what the of the passage, that's important. All right, because what the author has done is he's given a theory. He has examined other theories and eliminated them with reasons. And the questions are, what is the theory or what are the reasons? So first, he says, first, grove snails as a whole are distributed all over Europe, but this white-lipped shell variety is found only in Ireland and in the Pyrenees mountains between France and Spain. All over you find a particular variety of snails. White-lipped shell variety you find only in Ireland and the Pyrenees mountains that lie between France and Spain, only in these two regions. So they did an analysis to find how come these two species are found only in these two regions. Explaining this is tricky. This is where your concentration should be and you'll try to remember. If you don't, please go back to the relevant part of the passage in the exam and figure it out. Maybe you missed it while reading, right? So, though I would like you to read, the first time you read should be thorough and quick. That's the secret to doing well in RC, and it comes with practice. So this one said that it could be convergent evolution. So the first theory is convergent evolution. Two populations evolve with the same trait by coincidence. But underlying genetic similarities between the two groups rules that out. Convergent evolution, why was it eliminated? Because of underlying genetic similarities. Itna yaad rakho for this paragraph. Second, some scientists said they had simply spread over the whole continent and then had been wiped out all over the continent except in these two places. Ho sakta hai. What was the reason that was eliminated? Sampling and subsequent DNA analysis eliminate that possibility too. If the snails naturally colonized Ireland, you would expect to find the same genetic type in some other part of Europe, but you don't find it. That genetic type is only found in these two. If they had gone all over and then had gone extinct, you would have found the same genetic type somewhere in Europe, but that didn't happen. So the second is also eliminated. Moreover, if they had spread across the continent, there would be some genetic variation, right? So if they were there in two places and spread all over the continent, there would have been some genetic variation, but that genetic variation doesn't exist. So the theory that they colonized the entire continent doesn't work. Three theories, all three are eliminated. Reasons yaad rakho, to your half the passage is done. So what has happened? From here you are getting the answer. This is a very clear pattern, difficult to explain except by involving humans. The explanation lies with humans. What's the explanation? Humans, यहाँ पे आपका आंसर शुरू होता है. Humans colonized Ireland roughly 9,000 years ago. The oldest fossil evidence of grove snails in Ireland dates roughly the same era. Humans colonized Ireland 9,000 years ago. They were in Ireland 9,000 years ago. Grove snail fossils date back to 9,000 years ago. So the explanation is there's a connection between humans and snails being there in that region. All right. Additionally, there is archaeological evidence of early sea trade. Sea trade के बारे में पूछा ना? Ancient people, there is sea trade between ancient peoples of Spain and Ireland via the Atlantic. Evidence that humans routinely ate these types. So, one, humans were in Ireland 9,000 years ago. Fossils of snails are found there. Humans must have got the snails. There is evidence of sea trade between peoples of Spain and Ireland via the Atlantic. And people have traveled. And people ate these snails before agriculture. Okay, how do you know? Their burnt shells have been found in Stone Age trash heaps. So this shows the link between human beings and the snail being there. The simplest explanation is boats. Now this is where again the travel part comes in. These snails may have inadvertently, without meaning to, traveled on the floor of the same coast, hugging skiffs. Skiffs are small boats that early humans used for travel, or either they were stuck to the boats, and when humans traveled, the sea trade between Ireland, Spain happened. Snails also went to these two places, or they were carried intentionally by the seafarers as a food source. Earlier, the rivers and oceans were the highways, and therefore the snails must have traveled along with the humans on the boats. Right? So the question is asking, all of the following evidence supports the passage's explanation of sea travel or trade except the coincidental existence of similar traits in the white-lipped grove snails of Ireland and the Pyrenees because of convergent evolution. He says convergent evolution to hai hi nahi. So where does sea trade come here? Question 5 doesn't even talk of option A, you eliminate because it's irrelevant. It doesn't give any explanation of sea, travel, trade, nothing. It talks of genetic similar traits, and he says, and it talks of convergent evolution. While the author says convergent evolution, also he has uh, eliminated. Moreover, there's nothing about sea trade here. Understood. Now, many of you said C. The absence of genetic variation within white-lipped. This says that they did not expand or colonize and then they went extinct. Therefore, it shows they didn't colonize. If they didn't colonize, he says the only way they came was through humans and through sea trade. You understood? Same way archaeological evidence shows this. Same way the oldest fossil. They came to Ireland with the human beings. But A does not give you that. C tells you genetic variation nahi hai. That means they did not colonize, they came via humans. Humans got them. There's a human link. So C is an explanation of the human link. But A is irrelevant because A mentions convergent evolution, which never happened. The author at least has eliminated convergent evolution. Understood why C is wrong, why A is correct, all of you? Got it? All right. Next one. Now, we are not going to look at the passage again because detail mein dekh liya. That is the advantage of reading thoroughly once, cross-checking for a question once, then you get the other question. So even if you spend an extra minute, it helps you answer the other questions accurately. I hope you will get this right. The passage outlines several hypotheses and evidence related to white-lipped grove snails to arrive at the most convincing explanation for what? Theory reject, theory eliminate, to come to the most convincing explanation for what is the main point he is trying to prove. That's what you're looking at. So remember, after you read the passage, question is asking for what, usko aapko samajhna hai. What is the question asking? Then you know. The question is asking, each time he has given ye bhi nahi hai, ye bhi nahi hai, finally what's the point he's trying to make? That's what the question is asking you. So give me the answer to what is the author trying to actually tell us? What is the author trying to explain about the white-lipped shell grove snail? I got that right. Why the white-lipped variety of grove snails were wiped out everywhere except in Ireland and Pyrenees. How the white-lipped variety of grove snails independently evolved in Ireland and the Pyrenees. Why the white-lipped variety of grove snails are found only in Ireland and the Pyrenees. How the white-lipped variety of grove snails independently evolved in Ireland and Pyrenees. Answer kya hai? A, B, C and D. It will show your understanding of the main point of the passage and your understanding of the various theories and why they were eliminated. See, every time I discuss a cat passage, I feel like saying some great person has made the question. Actually, it's not one person who makes the question. It goes through 3 iterations. मैं क्वेश्चन बना देती हूँ, आंसर ऑप्शन बना देती हूँ, somebody else will say नहीं नहीं ये तो बहुत easy हो गया, let me add a twist. That's how it happens. Okay. All right. I'm getting C's and D's. Let's see what's the answer. Acha. Did the author agree with this? Is this a theory that the author agrees with, that the white-lipped grove snails were wiped out everywhere? They were there all over Europe. They were wiped out everywhere except Ireland and the Pyrenees. That's why they are found only in Ireland and Pyrenees. Is that what he said? He did not agree with this theory at all. So A is wrong. Understood? Second, how the white-lipped variety of grove snails independently evolved in Ireland and Pyrenees. He has mentioned one theory says they evolved independently, but the genetic similarities show that this is not. He eliminated it, rejected this theory. So B bhi nahi ho sakta hai. Is it C or D? Why is it found only in Ireland and the Pyrenees? How they independently evolved, he is rejecting. They did not independently evolve. They were brought there by the human beings. So they were brought there to Spain or to the Pyrenees place or to this place, and through trade went to both the places. Ireland went to the Pyrenees by boat during trade, or there came here by trade. Human beings got them. Ireland में पहले आए होंगे. 9,000 years ago it was found. There was trade between Ireland and the Pyrenees. So they hitched a ride in the boats and they went there. Or they were taken there because people found them good to eat. So they didn't independently evolve. No, they are not the same. One says they independently evolved. He has not found an answer. He is saying, why are they found only in... The whole point the author is trying to make is, these snails are found only in these 2 places. Why? And then he has given different theories on why are they found only in these 2 places. पहले convergent evolution reject, second independent evolution reject, third convergent and independent evolution is same, third they spread and they were wiped out. B and D, correct, they are the same, B and D are the same, correct, perfect, all right, understood. So C ही है, got it, easy. Once you know, the answer looks very easy. All right, next question. Which one of the following makes the author eliminate convergent evolution as a probable explanation for why white-lipped grove snails are found in Ireland and the Pyrenees only? What is the reason for him to eliminate convergent evolution? अगर आपको पता नहीं है, अगर आपको याद नहीं है, then you have to go back to the passage to read. I'm not going to show it to you now because I have the best passage waiting for you. The toughest one that I want to finish. It's already 7:30, so jaldi karenge. But in the exam, when you get this question, if you don't remember, you won't remember 90%. You go back to the passage and see, अच्छा convergent evolution के बारे में author ने क्या बोला है. Read it quickly, say it in your own words, and then mark the answer. You will get +3 instead of -1. All right, quickly, let me get your answers. The absence of genetic variation, the absence of genetic similarities, the coincidental evolution of similar traits, or the distinct lineage found specifically. Easily eliminated is distinct lineage, right? He hasn't mentioned it. Bilkul nahi. Absence of genetic variation between them, or absence of genetic similarities between them. To eliminate convergent evolution, दोनों एक ही बार evolve हुए. Did he talk of absence of genetic variation or absence? Absolutely right. Perfect answer. Tech bite Mridul. It is the absence of genetic variation which made them say नहीं, ये नहीं हो सकता. थोड़ा तो genetic variation होना चाहिए, वो नहीं है, so they did not. There was no convergent evolution. Got it? Perfect. In paragraph 4, the evidence that, this is the easiest question of the set, humans routinely ate these type of snails before the advent of agriculture. He has said, right? Humans routinely ate, so there is evidence, therefore something. This statement, from this statement, what can you conclude? Conclude means pakka. If humans ate these type of snails, then we can definitely say which option is true. That's all he's asking, and the easiest of the questions. White-lipped grove snails may have inadvertently traveled from Pyrenees to Ireland on the floor of the small coast-hugging skiffs that early seafarers used for travel. The seafarers who traveled from the Pyrenees to Ireland might have carried white-lipped grove snails with them as edibles. Rivers and oceans in the Stone Age facilitated trade in white-lipped grove snails. 9,000 years ago, during the Stone Age, humans traveled from the south of France to Ireland via the Atlantic. अरे खाने के लिए खा रहे थे तो they found them edible, they must have carried them. Pakka. Okay, easy. So you now know that even if you are in a hurry, even if you hadn't read the entire passage, if you'd read some parts of it, this question you'd easily get. Right? That they found them edible. They carried them as food. They carried them knowingly, not that they traveled. The snails just managed to, take a ride. Okay. Passage 3, one of my favorites because it's a classic cat passage. इसको आप solve कर दोगे तो it's worth working out 10 passages, but get it right. Okay, in the sense that read it properly. It's a tough passage. It would I would put the degree of difficulty as moderate to difficult because of the kind of language, because of the subject. All right. Okay, I'll give you a minute per slide because again the slide seems to be very content heavy, so I'll give you a minute per slide. Okay. We will summarize it again. So read whatever you can and I'll summarize it with you quickly. Okay. Now, first question. We'll always look at the first question. Okay. Look at the answer options, then go back. The author says folk may often appear a cozy fossilized form because whenever you're given a quote from the passage, quickly look at the options, go back to the relevant part of the passage where he mentions cozy fossilized form, and then try to see which of the options is closest in meaning to what you think is the meaning when you read those lines again, right? A nostalgic association with the pre-industrial past. It has been arrogated, taken by force for various political and cultural purposes. It's a chic, shabby chic in an antique veneer cover. The notion of folk has led to several debates and disagreements. Let's go back to why does it appear as a cozy fossilized form? Now, cozy means comfortable. So the answer has to be positive in connotation. So several debates and disagreements nahi hoga, ye nahi hoga. Because he's calling it a cozy fossilized. Cozy means comfortable. So you know it's either A or C, nostalgic or sonic shabby chic. Let's go back. All right. Where is it? Let's quickly go read the passage. First one, he said that folk may appear as a cozy, here. William Morris called the anti-scrape, anti-capitalist conservationism that solaced itself with the vision of a pre-industrial golden age. In Britain, folk may often appear a cozy fossilized form, but when you look more closely, you realize that it may do. But when you look at it more closely, that is where the other parts. So basically, he's saying here that free from the taint of manufacture, Victorian socialist called this. So folk solaced itself with the vision. Those who called it solaced itself with the pre-industrial golden age. In Britain, folk may appear as a cozy fossilized form. Pre-industrial age, in Britain, it may appear as a cozy fossilized form. So what does it mean now? Which option? Quickly. He has quoted the British guy. Free from the taint of manufacture means very natural. A whiff of the pre-industrial age. In Britain, it may appear like this, but in other places, it's different. So, what does cozy fossilized form refer to? Nostalgic association, A, which many of you have marked, that is true. You didn't have to read. You didn't even have to read the first paragraph, but it is easy to associate it. Now, let's look at the next question. I'm going to do all the questions like this because assuming this is the last passage in the mock. You have 8 minutes, you want to finish at least two questions correctly. And how are you going to do it? All of the following are causes for the plurality and diversity within British folk tradition. except. Look at the answer options before you decide whether I want to go back or not. Okay. So he is saying that British folk music is characterized by plurality and diversity. All of the following are causes of the plurality and diversity except. So in the passage he has mentioned, we have read it quickly. The fluidity of folk forms owing to their history of oral mode of transmission. Do you remember he has mentioned the oral mode of transmission? When there is an oral mode of transmission, the form will be fluid, it will change. If it will change, then it will lead to diversity, it will lead to differences. So this is likely to be a reason, even if you don't remember it has been mentioned or not. Yes or no? Nostalgia is, yeah, a longing for the past. When you feel like people my generation will say, oh, when we were children, things were good. Right. Paradoxically, folk forms are both popular and unpopular. Now, does the popularity or the lack of popularity uh, explain plurality and diversity? Does popularity and unpopularity explain plurality and diversity? Question, yes or no? Just quickly put Y or N. If you say, you know what, folk songs are both popular and unpopular, that's the paradox of folk songs. Does it explain the cause for the diversity in folk music? Itna variation kyun hai? Just like the diversity in Indian food. Itna variation kyun hai? It doesn't. So this will not explain it. Now let's look at the next one. British folk forms can be traced back to the remote past. When it can trace back something to ancient days, obviously when it has traveled over time, the form will change, it will become diverse, it will become plural. British was continued pagan influences. Pagan is people, well, all the religions, ancient religions which were not mainstream were called pagan. So if folk music had its roots there, then it has come to modern times. It will change in form. Even without reading it, you get to this. If any question, if true, if you get a question which is which of the following, if true, it is a critical reasoning question. That means the answer option will give you additional information which will support the conclusion. So if true, normally we tell you any answer option which gives you something which is not mentioned in the passage is wrong. Correct? अरे passage में mention नहीं है, how can I answer it? But which of the following, if true, strengthen or weaken the author's conclusion? Means he's giving an additional piece of evidence which, if it is true, you have to assume that is correct, will either add or take away from the author's claims. So then you have to say, okay, this is the author. So whatever is the question, if true will do what, you look at that part. Let's say the author has claimed that, this trade between Ireland and Pyrenees happened. So which of the following, if true, would strengthen? He'll give an additional piece of information, additional evidence of trade between Ireland and Spain. So taking that piece of evidence is not mentioned in the passage. But if you add that option, then it will make it even stronger. Then you'll say this is correct. So that is the reason of an if true. Last year before last, there was a cuttlefish question where many students made a mistake in an if true question. All right. Which of the following, इसके लिए passage के लिए जाना है, but let's see if you can do it without. At a conference on folk forms, the author of the passage is least likely to agree with. So which of the point goes against the author's main point? Author's main point is what? Folk music is both popular and unpopular. Folk music is diverse. Folk music is plural, is pluralistic in nature, something like that. Correct? So which of the options goes against the author's main points? That is what he is least likely to agree with. All right. What is the answer for question 11? He said folk forms change. People take a folk song and every time they write and interpret, they give their own version, the folk form changes. That is generally because of the oral tradition. And now with rock and all that, it's changed even more. So basically, he's talking about the diversity in folk forms, the fluidity of folk forms. So which one would go against that, he would be least likely to agree with. Correct? So which of the options? The power of folk resides in its contradictory ability to influence and be influenced by the past while remaining rooted in the present. This is one of the main points. Even though it has its origin in the past, it still is contemporary, it still has relevance now. So it's both contradictory and its contradictory nature is revealed in that sense. Folk forms, despite their archaic origins in the ancient past, remain intellectually relevant in contemporary times, which is why they are being popular even now. So he will agree with that. Folk forms, in their ability to constantly adapt to the changing world, exhibit an unusual poise and homogeneity with each change. They do not show homogeneity with each change. According to the author, every time it is like sowing a new acorn. Every time somebody uses an earlier used theme, gives his interpretation, it takes a new form. So this is against the author's main point. Therefore, C. Now remember, we have not even gone back to the passage once. If you read the passage once thoroughly and understand its main point, you'll understand everything. But that first reading has to be, no, it is plural, it is democratizing. So that is true. And its practitioners are improvising. It is one of the points made by the author. Remember, he has stressed on the plurality and diversity and fluidity. The primary purpose of the reference to William Morris and his floral prints, इसको आपको याद नहीं रहेगा ये, I'll show it to you. William Morris and his floral prints were expressed in the very first paragraph. Where? No, maybe not. Huh? Where is it? No, very first paragraph. I'm showing you the second. Here. Here. The word, in our own time, the word folk has achieved the rare distinction of occupying fashionable and unfashionable status simultaneously. So it is seen as fashionable and it is also unfashionable. How? The effusive floral prints of radical William Morris now cover genteel sofas, so the revolutionary intentions have led to revivalists have led to music that is commonly regarded as parochial and conservative. So one side, the effusive floral prints of William Morris now cover people, genteel people, sophisticated people, everyone's sofas. So those exclusive floral prints, those very flamboyant floral prints are found there. And on the other hand, the revolutionary intentions have led to the music being considered parochial. So why has Morris's print been used? That it is found covering sofas of genteel people also, right? So which option goes with it? Ha! The pervasive influence of folk on contemporary art, culture, and fashion, that what was once regarded radical in folk can be later seen as conformist, that what was once derided as genteel is now considered revolutionary, that despite its uh, archaic origins, it continues to remain a popular tradition. So he said that those prints are found even on Uh, so everything depends on your ability to. Can everyone see me and hear me? Is there an issue? No, right? Wait, let me just see this. Oh. What is the meaning? Everything depends. Just 1 second. Let me push this off. What is the meaning of genteel? Sophisticated, refined, or the opposite? What was once considered radical is now considered, everybody is using it, even the sophisticated people are using it. So what was once regarded as radical in folk can now be seen as conformist. The exotic prints are now found everywhere. People are using that. So same way, next he talks about the tunes were seen as you know popular folk tunes were seen as radical, were seen as parochial. All right. So what was once considered radical is accepted now, rather something like that. Right. So B would be the correct answer. All right. Last one. The meaning of genteel is refined, sophisticated. If you understand that, then you understand that you can see those. They were not very common. Now you can see people decorating their houses with those floral prints. That shows that what was not common, what was radical reaction, what's considered radical at one time is now being accepted by everybody. All right. Which one of the following statements about folk revivalism of 1940s and 60s cannot be inferred? Ye ek ke liye, why do you go back to the passage? This is one question you can omit. Need not do. But let's see what answers you can give. For this you have to read the passage. For this you have to go back to the relevant part of the passage, which neither you nor I have done. Right? We just looked. But you could answer 4 out of the 5 questions. Now there are only 4 questions. Then there used to be 5. Without even going back to the passage. All right. Yeah. Any questions? Remember, we have a lot of important series coming up. Please type in your questions. Saturday, 7 p.m. Vikrant, that is tomorrow, right? 7 p.m. Vikrant will be doing the analysis of All India Open Mock 4. Monday, Gaurav will be doing the DILR analysis. Tuesday, Gaurav will be doing a quant runathon. It's a 2-hour continuous session in quant. And Thursday, Vikrant will be doing a VARC runathon. I would advise you to not miss a single session. Each of these are experts. They're going to help you get that additional few points which will help you realize your dreams. 2023 aspirants slot wise detailed analysis on November 26, score predictor, percentile predictor, सब कुछ मिलेगा आपको. Just join us. Make sure you're there for the slot wise analysis. Every slot, at the end of the slot, once we get our act together, we will bring you as detailed an analysis as possible. Mridul, start your preparations. Watch some of our YT videos. You know how we teaching. Join our full length course. I'd love to see you in the classroom. And start your preparations so that you give yourself ample time for the 2024 CAT. All right, 1 year, very good. You're giving yourself enough time to prepare. Join a few of our YT sessions. Vikrant is doing a session tomorrow at 11 or maybe Sunday. एक बार देख लेना on any of these. BYJU'S YT channel subscribe कर दीजिए. Then you will see what are the sessions. Attend one session of Vikrant, one of Saral, one of Gaurav and Naveen, and you will know what kind of teachers we have. Fantastic teachers, the best in the industry. Join our course so that you have time to prepare, a full year to prepare for CAT 2024. We'll make you IIM ready by the time the year is up. Right? So follow us on our social 2024. Please start now. All right? Attend the 2024 sessions. There are batches on. There's a scholarship test. So you take it, do well in it. There'll be a waiver on your fees. There'll be a big chunk of your CAT preparation fees. Take that, Mridul. I think the next scholarship test is tomorrow. Take that and join one of our courses. All right. Long term batches. Join and prepare slowly and thoroughly. The rest of you, those who are taking CAT 23, all the best. Attend our last minute sessions. Gautam will be doing what to do in the last 2 3 days session with you soon. Attend that. All right. I will see you very soon. Bye bye.